Hello all! Today I'll be weaving a blanket made from both thrifted yarn and the hand-dyed and hand-spun yarn made by KittyCat Spins, or as many of the regulars of this channel know her, Emma. Emma has become a very dear friend over the past year, and she's the sort of genuine person who sneaks her way around the guard walls that you have around your heart and just makes a home there without even trying. I wanted to show her just how much I valued the gift of her work, the quality, the time, the energy that went into it, and I wanted to gift some warmth from my home back to hers. So here we go with this blanket. It took some twists and turns, but I think it ended up just right, and there's footage of her unboxing it at the end too. I hope you enjoy. My name is Took. I'm a disabled genderqueer weaver who's had life take odd turns, but who knows that even tattered and worn yarn still has value, and that tired joints and health flares don't have to stop the journey. I weave exclusively with secondhand fibers, aided with adaptive warping, HR and OSHA cats, and a wonderful found family. Welcome to Hawksong Weaving, where all our paths are a little bit warped. First, a bit of an explanation on why I've developed this adaptive warping method. I have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which has cascaded into postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So for time's sake, know that I have joints that don't work, and if I shift positions too quickly, I get pre-syncope or pre-fainting symptoms. All of this comes with chronic pain, so for a lot of reasons, a traditional warping board doesn't work for me, along with being really expensive and taking up a lot of space in my small studio. So I use an accordion coat rack as my warping board. It's nice and neat, it contracts into a smaller space, and I can adjust it as I need to. And I don't need to be up and down and all around having tachycardia, a racing heart, that stresses out my medical alert cat Penelope Calico. For new folks to the channel, Penelope Calico is 6 years old and an untrained, unlicensed medical alert cat. She was originally gotten as an ESA for my ESA Hades Himbo, but then decided to pull double duty as a dysautonomia alert cat. She has a 100% success rate with the diagnoses, to the point where if she starts screaming at one of my friends, I let them know that they need to go talk to their doctor. She will tattle on me to my partners when I don't do as I'm told, and at least 3 ER doctors have agreed with her assessments of my health. I love her so much, but I'm never getting another calico ever again, as I did not consent to being, however accurately, deemed a dumb sheep by my border collie of a cat. The love of our cats is one of the initial things that Emma and I first bonded over, first in the comment sections, and then later on in direct messages and emails. And it's been wonderful to find another cat parent who knows the idiosyncrasies and personalities of their fine feline the way that I know the idiosyncrasies and personalities of mine, and someone who appreciates the internal cat politics of a particular household and just the joys that come with honestly being neurodivergent and knowing your animals really, really well and being able to advocate for them and just loving sharing space with these wondrous small creatures that have decided to join us in our households. For anyone who's curious, this loom is a 15-inch wide shocked cricket loom. It's a rigid heddle loom, and I love it so much. It's birch, it's very sturdy, it can take a beating, but it's light enough that I can lift it even when I'm having a pain or fatigue day. It's also one of the cheapest looms on the market, averaging around $250 at the time of filming. I'll be skipping ahead a bit so that the video doesn't drag, but for reference, this process takes about 15 minutes all told. If you're trying out this method and it takes longer, please don't worry. I've been doing this process about once to twice a day for years, and my muscle memory has it down. With the warp thread sorted, I'm lifting up the loom to release the warping board from the loom, gathering the warp threads into one large bundle and using the back of my neck to drape them over and keep them tidy and out of the way while I collapse the warping board. I use terry cloth towels to cushion the warp threads. This helps prevent the finished weaving from being tighter at the ends and looser in the middle, creating a sort of sausage profile in the weaving. They also have more grip than the traditional cardstock, which I find difficult to use because it tends to slide all over the place. Every other week or so, I'll wash and dry the terry cloth towels, as the pressure from how tight I prefer my warp to be can flatten them over time and make them less effective at cushioning the warp threads. The warp for this blanket is a mix of donated from other followers on YouTube and from the local thrift stores in Northampton and Swanson Stash House up in Turner's Falls, which is a quote-unquote no-kill shelter for yarn, etc., notions, fabric, and it's just wonderful to band all of these disparate fibers together and for the warp, and then you do the unifying weaving of Emma's icicle yarn, which she hand dyes and then hand spins. It is worth every single penny or shilling. It's been a long time since I've lived in England. I lived there for a year while my mother went to Oxford, and I don't remember much other than these weird little, like, periodicals that were, like, almost a precursor in style to My Little Pony, but like they were all living in stables and they came with like little figurines. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about. I was living in London and Oxford when I was 4 years old, so born in 1993, so 4 years after that. I'm not willing to do the math right now. I only recently realized, after 3 years of weaving with this method, that cutting the warp loops in one go is a lot easier than the previous method I had that had me cutting the warp loops at the end of winding the warp. This is so much simpler and also decreases the amount I need to trim at the end of the weaving. The scrap yarn will get used for other projects as stuffing, like the scented scrappy sachets that are some of my best sellers. This helps keep everything for Hawksong weaving zero waste. I will let you know ahead of time that I screwed up and initially was going to be doing a trim, like a long tassel trim for this blanket, but then I remembered a conversation I had with Emma about one of my previous blankets that her cat Briar would end up eating all of the trim, and I did not want to either cause a vet bill or any distress to Emma. This is very much intended to be a warm, wonderful thing in her household and for her cats, and so ended up cutting off the trim, but that's a bit of a spoiler for further down in this process. This isn't a great angle, but I'm being careful to pay attention to how the warp threads are laying on the back bar of the loom, and the right hand thread goes through the smaller hole on the rigid heddle reed. It's not critical, and some minor mistakes aren't the end of the world, but it does make it easier to keep the tension of the warp threads even across the entire weaving. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you'd like to support my work, some free ways to do that are to like, subscribe, or follow, and share. This applies to other small artists as well. It's a great way to let the social media algorithms know that this is content worth watching. If you'd like to support me financially, there's a Buy Me a Coffee linked below, which acts as sort of a tip jar. I also now have YouTube memberships fully set up. This gets you access to videos as soon as I post them, rather than on the schedule of parallel resting videos on Sundays and project or unboxing videos on Fridays. Everyone gets the shorts at the same time because I need that dopamine hit. Also, now that there's so many of you absolutely fantastic and wonderful subscribers, I've been able to link the online Hawksong weaving shop, so feel free to check out the unique handwoven products. This next bit is absolutely a joke, but just in case in this economy I won't say no. For $1,000 a month, you can tell me that I'm not actually disabled, I'm just lazy, and to try whatever yoga, juice cleanse, snake oil nonsense fixed your cousin. Feel free to message me and I'll get you my payment deets. I take Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and check for this nonsense because YouTube wouldn't let me set up this membership tier as a joke. Feel free to mail a check or, more likely, donations of yarn, buttons, etc. to the P.O. box listed down below. For this particular video, if you want to show your appreciation, and if you haven't already, please go check out the KittyCat Spins YouTube channel. It is absolutely wonderful ASMR of the dyeing and spinning process, and it's just so wonderful to sit and just feel like you're there with someone else doing fiber crafts. Like, I will sit and I will listen and watch Emma work while I'm doing my own weaving. And like long term, I'm hoping to set up like some sort of Discord where we can do this all together and just sort of like parallel craft and like just be there with each other, even across the oceans, because dang if the politics and the ocean has not been a huge barrier in all of this. I would love to be sending more presents back and forth to Emma, but between the tariffs and the customs, it's just not worth it. at the time of filming and at the time of editing this video, we are still trying to like get things through to Emma for payment, because despite the fact that I paid $60 for shipping, they added another like £40 for Emma to be able to receive this, and PayPal is being particularly stubborn about, no, you had a legal name change. You can't have an account under that name anymore. And I'm like, okay, then please let me change the name on my account. And PayPal is like, no, this isn't legit, despite the fact that it's legal paperwork. So, but worth it, and I'm figuring out how to get some of that paid, just because I don't want to drop unexpected £40 payment on Emma. Just no. Emma is one of the most genuine human beings that I have ever met, and I mentioned earlier about how, like, she sort of sneaks around your heart even when you have your guard up. She's not doing that intentionally, as far as I can tell. She's just being a genuine human being, and then, oh wait, how did you get here in my heart, and with the warmth and the kindness and the relatability and the fellow love of cats and Tamara Pierce and fiber arts, and just, there are some traumas that deeply bond people, and one of those is being a relatively younger fiber artist and doing this for a living and having pretty much the entire world stacked against you, especially if you've got issues with mothers the way that Emma and I have issues with ours. And just, I wanted to show the appreciation I had for her work, because her work is quite literally just wondrous. It causes wonder. It's so, so beautiful. Attaching the warp to the bottom apron bar is pretty easy. I finger comb it, get it separated into bits about 4 to 5 warp threads wide, separate these bits into 2, and then do a half hitch tie to the apron bar. After that, I'll be getting the next terry cloth towel in place, and because I prefer a fairly high tension, I'll be tightening up the warp. If your fingers are hypermobile, please be careful when doing this, as the pressure can bend them backwards, and that is not comfortable. And now for the actual weaving. I'm getting a candle lit because I want to get as much warm and just lovely energy into this as I can. I cannot, cross the ocean right now. It is not financially feasible, even if it would be, logistically feasible. But I'm told that I give really good hugs, and I want this blanket to feel like a hug because Emma deserves it. Emma has been through a ton of crap, from what I can tell, and just for a hug from a fiber artist to a fiber artist. Because again, just look at the yarn on that shuttle. That is hand dyed and hand spun, and it is so beautiful, and it's got these lovely icicles, like icicle vibe, and it's just weaving up beautifully. It's not like snagging on my fingers in that god awful like microfibery way. It's natural and it's good and it's just gorgeous. And I wanted it to sparkle, and I wanted it to be warm, and I wanted it to remind winter. And here's Hades himbo, and he's not allowed over there with the candle because he will get his tail caught on fire. And that is not the energy that I want in this blanket, of cat on fire. I don't want cat on fire energy in this blanket. But yeah, he's my sweet Hades himbo, and he's my darling boy, but no, he cannot be there while the candle is lit because he will end up with his tail on fire, and just absolutely not. Some tips and tricks for getting even selvages. When you're first learning to weave, practice these consciously for the first bit of a weaving session. The shuttle goes through and is pulled at a 45-degree angle while pinching at the point of the corner of the selvage. This allows for the weft to have enough space to settle in between the warp and creates a tight turn at the selvage. In order to keep this 45-degree angle in the narrow space of a rigid heddle like this one, you're going to need to wind your weaving down regularly. Selvages are one of the things I'm complimented on from other weavers when they see my work at art markets, so these tips and tricks absolutely do work. I am now done with this panel. I originally was going to have a fringe, and then I remembered that conversation that I had about Briar. So I'm being more careful with tying off this fringe than I would have been if I had remembered that conversation earlier on, because I was silly and I didn't remember it initially, but also giving myself grace. I've got memory issues. It happens. And just tying things off and getting this ready to get off the loom, and then I will be weaving the next few panels. I am so thrilled with how this first panel came out. I could have stopped there and this would have been a wonderful scarf, but that would not have kept Emma fully warm while she works her absolute magic in spinning. But look at this beautiful, beautiful yarn. I'm so incredibly glad to have been able to work with this. Emma sent a huge box of this fairly early on in our friendship, and it's been a joy to work with every single time. Just, and here's the next panel, and oh, there's Goth IT Engineer sneezing in the background. Yes, I know she's loud with it. Some of the icicle yarn was a bit thinner than the others, so I ended up doubling it up with other yarn that I had access to, just because I wanted to make sure that it was a very warm and dense blanket, but also always featuring the icicle yarn, always featuring Emma's work. Just, it's so beautiful. It takes so long to build the skills to make yarn this quality, and I'm just so thrilled to be able to work with this and to be able to enjoy this time, collaborating on this in these videos. Later on, the candle was blown out, and Hades Himbo demanded some time, and he got that time. He wanted to say hi to Emma too, and give some long-distance cuddles and some long-distance snuggles, just because, look, just, it's just been a really, really hard year, and the friendship with Emma has been an absolute light in the darkness. Now I'm starting to sew things together, and I'm using some of the warp thread that I have left over and just getting things going for getting this all sewn. I'm already knowing that these ended up being different lengths, and I'm honestly really glad that I remembered the conversation I had with Emma about how her cats would end up eating the fringe, so I'm not worried too much about it being odd lengths, but it is, from a professional perspective, a little annoying that I misjudged the length of the yarn to that extent, or the length of the weaving to that extent, but also giving myself grace as per usual, and desperately trying to not put any negative energy into this particular piece. I'll tie a knot at the very end of this, but I find that weaving in the loose ends helps to keep things tidy, but again, I'm going to be trimming a lot of this yarn off at the end, so it doesn't really matter too much. But I started fiber arts with knitting, so this is a fairly easy and logical step for me to take. The way that I sew these panels together that I found works best is to hook the needle through the weft loop of the selvage or the edge of the panel and the outermost warp thread at the same time, and to do a whip stitch, jumping diagonally from each panel all the way up. I love this process, and I love sewing the disparate panels together after weaving the disparate warps and wefts together. I find that, like, it's very therapeutic in a way, if the symbolism of tying and sewing two families together, two households together, even across an ocean, through bonds of work and skill and time and cats and Tamara Pierce. This blanket is also very Hades Himbo approved. He is the first kneader, and it does hold up to kneading fairly well. So don't worry too much about that, Emma. I know that your Tam likes to knead as well. He's like, but also I would like to knead and I would like cuddles at the same time, please. See, I'm putting in my work at the biscuit factory. Yes, I'm a very important person at the biscuit factory. My sweet dumb boy. And I've trimmed off the excess, but you can see that it's even on this side, but it's not even on the other side. So in order to get it even, and I will not let any of this fabric go to waste, I'm using a tight zigzag stitch, almost an applique stitch, to sew two lines about 1/4 of an inch apart, down from down the center where I want to cut. This stabilizes the woven fabric and prevents it from unraveling, like a serger, but a lot less persnickety. For this project, I'm using quilting thread, as it's a bit stronger and I trust it more on this tiny little sewing machine. With the larger piece, I'm turning this into a lavender scrappy scented sachet. This helps keep everything zero waste. All the scraps and stuff from this project will go into here along with some very strongly smelling dried lavender to both help provide some calming, some nice, good energy, but also just a practical thing of Emma works in wool. Let's make sure no moths or any gross itsy bitsies get through. Moths hate lavender, and I want to make sure that, as much as I can help with that, but also it's nice and calming, it's cozy, and hopefully maybe it can be a sample piece on for Emma at markets, because Emma sells her work at art markets as well. Um, just, yeah, I want to make sure this is nice. To finish the bindings of this particular piece, I'm using some antique lace made in New England factories, something to, celebrate the old fiber artists and just celebrate the new and this new generation of fiber artists that Em and I are a part of, and I'm so incredibly thrilled by this. This was originally going to go around this side, but this is going to be a trim piece along the ends. I'm trying to figure out where to best place this, and it ended up being hand sewn for the most part, just because the sewing machine was not going to be able to handle the delicateness of the lace and the edge at the same time. So you'll see that I'm trying to figure things out, and I ended up using bias tape for the looser ends, and then putting some actual work of the lace over that. So we've got some double layered strength here, just keeping things going. sewing machine was definitely not going to work for getting the lace on here. It was working for the bias tape, but not really for anything else. And I wanted the blue thread to kind of peek through from the sewing machine. Just, again, a celebration of old and new techniques, and a celebration of us, a celebration of we're doing this against all the odds. We're doing this, we're making it as fiber artists, and that's something wonderful to be celebrated. Lots of hours of stitching and weaving and just wrangling of fibers and yarn, this got mailed and was out the door and off to England, where Emma was waiting for it. And I'm going to let her speak for herself in the unboxing section of this video, because I also don't want to spoil the surprise for y'all.
Hi, 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 hi. It's here. It's here. It's here. I forgot to quickly scribble out addresses. Let me just quickly do that. But yes, it's here. Turk's parcel is here at last. I am so sorry. I completely forgot to do that before I started filming. My fault entirely. Oh, hi. Hello, Briar. Hello, Briar. You coming up to join me? You gonna come say hello? No? Of course not. Why would I think you would actually come and join me in a video? You don't in my own channel's videos. Why would you in Tux? Come on. Oh, I am incorrect. He is kind of joining us. Come on. He's very much. What is this, Mother? What is going on? Oh, oh, oh. We are having a sniff. Oh, hi. Hi. So this is Briar Pablo Moss. The one and only, the infamous, the one named for the plant mage who takes way too well after him, I swear to the goddess. And I am Emma, or Cat Mom Emma, or as some of you may know me, KittyCat Spins. I am very excited. I am very excited because, yeah, I am autistic, so it's very much a case of I have exciting thing. I have exciting thing. There is a cat on the back of my sofa. Hi, are you sunbathing? Are you sunbathing? Raya, hi. You're looking very smug, cat. He's also very interested in the outside world because we have had snow over here in the UK. So, yeah, yeah, that's quite a rare thing where I am because we're kind of down in the valley, so we're protected from everywhere else. Anyway, so to those of you who follow my channel already, you will know about this, and it's been talked about on Took's channel as well. But Took and I have done a collaboration where we are exchanging gifts, and his has literally arrived less than an hour ago. I had to get some things sorted before I could do filming for this, but yeah, here we are. Here we are, and I don't think I'm going to need scissors to open this. I should also say the reason it took so long for this to come is because customs got their hands on it over here in the UK. So that was a whole lot of fun on my side to deal with. Seriously, Took paid well for it to be sent, and they slapped an extra £50 on the customs charge on my end, which was fun, shall we say. Right, okay, so the tape is coming off. Excuse all the rustling. And got it. Now, I explained this on my own channel as well, but I was never expecting a friendship with Took to happen when I started following KittyCat Spins. Do not eat that, sir. Do not. That is His Majesty again. Yes, I watch him like a hawk. I have to, because he will eat anything he can get his paws on given the chance. Won't you? Hey? Raya? Hi. So back to what I was saying. I found Tuck's channel back in April, May of 2024. What are you doing? He's after the sellotape ball. This is what I will be doing for a lot of the video, I swear, is watching him go after things he knows he shouldn't. You have cardboard strips on the floor. Go play with those. Those are your favourite toy. I don't want the cardboard strips, Mother. I want the sellotape ball. But yeah, I was going through a bit of a tough spot with my own mental health at the time. I was just starting therapy for so much stuff when I was a kid. I'm not exactly quiet about what I've been through, and I have talked about it in the comments on Tuck's channel before. So, yeah, essentially, my birth giver was not a nice person, and I haven't spoken to her in 17 years. But I found Tuck's channel because I'd been watching a lot of how to weave videos on YouTube, and obviously the algorithm thought, oh, she'll like this one, and threw Tuck's channel at me, and it was a case of, oh, I see cats, I see warmth, I'm in. And then Tuck started talking about being a Tamara Pierce fan, and it was a case of, I have a cat named Briar Pablo Moss. He is named after Briar Moss of the Circle of Magic series. Hi. It kind of just started from there, I think. Anyway, let's actually open up, and it just went from there. I don't even entirely know how it got to this point. But here we are doing exchanges across the ocean, and yeah. This is very well secured. He definitely wanted to be sure of waterproof. Excuse me, sorry, excuse me a moment. Sorry, I just see, a big part of why this means a lot to me is because I'm actually the only maker left in my family. Oh my word, I got hit with so much then. So I'm always making for my family because I love them dearly, but they don't have the skills to make anything back. Not that I expect anything back, but the last maker in my family, ironically, was my birth giver, and well, she's very much not in my life anymore, and I am much happier that way. So, oh, please excuse me, I was not expecting that, and I will read this note out for you all in a moment. I just need a second. Okay, so the note reads, "Dear Emma, Mithras, Minos, and Shaketh," which is something that Tamara Pierce has in her books. One particular character says it until the characters return to his homeland, when others say it as well. But yeah. Mithras, Minos, and Shaketh, your work is beautiful. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I did my best to show the value and utter wonder I had with your work. I hope this keeps you warm while you create more wonders. Open the smaller parcel first. There's a sneak peek inside. The trim/lining from the second parcel is antique from New England factories, something old to celebrate the new generation of fiber artisans. I'm so incredibly proud to share this generation with you. All of my cats have sat in the box, so if yours are going feral, that is why. Peace, warmth, and friendship took and the family. So it means a lot to have a fellow fiber artist say something like that. Especially when you have people at market trying to say your work is too expensive, which is always a fun experience because the hours that goes into spinning even a single skein of yarn. Okay, let me see. There is 2 parcels in here. So that's the smaller one. I will put that to one side and take the bigger one out as well. I will absolutely be keeping that note because thank you so much for that. So, smaller one first. Oh, 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 oh! I smell lavender. So I am going to bring that closer. Look at this! It's beautiful. The gold, the copper flecks. Oh, and hawk song weaving. Let me see. Oh, so oh, the lavender. That hit me. I think, is that my icicle yarn? Yes, I see Angelina fibers, which means yes, that is the icicle yarn. Oh, so I will bring that closer as well because look at this. It's beautiful. I think I remember Took weaving this actually. Oh, and the pouch for it as well, which I will put this back into for now. But yes. Oh, those are beautiful. And you said that was a sneak peek of the larger one. Okay. Okay, I am going to put that to one side and put that in the box. And Briar is watching my every move from their tower. Okay. Now this is a lot bigger, this one is. So let's see. Now, I know I am already known for being a Fort Knox rapper on Took's channel. I am very much the one who will make sure a parcel is absolutely, completely secure in every way I possibly can. Oh, 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 Turk. Oh, it's beautiful. And you remembered what I said about Briar, how I'd have to seal the edges on a blanket like this because he'd try to eat the yarn that was unsealed at the ends. I It's beautiful. And I'm gonna start crying again. Oh, happy tears, but oh. So, it is an absolutely beautiful blanket, and I love it. Oh, the lace is beautiful. And heat, what was it the note said? Let me just trimming from the second parcel is antique from New England factories, something old to celebrate the new generation of fiber artists. That was it. Oh, we. Oh, we. And yes, I love this. I love this. I will absolutely be using this when I am spinning because I get so cold really easily. So if you follow my channel, you will absolutely be seeing this in use when I am on the spinning wheel. You were asking about colours recently, about favourite colours and colour combinations, and I was saying that I am always a sucker for blue. Oh, thank you. I can't say how much it means, but thank you. The irony is, I say my mother wasn't a nice person, but even in with the bad, there's always the good to remember. And she was an incredible maker. She would make uh, patchwork quilts for each of us. For each of me and my sisters, but this means so much more than even that did. It's it might be pure chance the algorithm um brought your channel up on my For You page took, but I am so glad it did every single day. So yes, thank you so much. And um, let me just bring this a little closer so people can see some of these colours because it is so beautiful. And the lace! Look at the lace! And yeah. And Bry's watching me. He knows that he's probably going to come over for a cuddle in a minute, knowing him. Hey, aren't you? Sweet boy. Ali will have to be careful with it because Tam and his claws. Oh, that cat. That ginger cat of mine. He is a purr drooler who likes to knead as well, so I will definitely be trying to keep him away from this one. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's beautiful. I love it. I will absolutely be using this. Thank you.
Hi. Hi, baby boy. Are you in the box? You're in Tug's box.